Dr. Jaishankar couldn't have been more clear than I. He said we want partners, not preachers. So we don't need preachers, we need partners. And today we have the capability to say that on the world front, to say, bro, don't come and preach me, come and partner with me, understand my problem, be the part of the solution. My problem is what? My problem is when my people go on to have a ball in a wonderful place, you come and identify their religious leaning and kill them. And you think the current administration will take it lying down? Please, I think those days are gone. If you do this, and this is what you're going to get. And if you continue to do this, you will be dismembered. Absolutely, rest assured on that. But like General said, balkanization could be a probability. I want to take it to a step further and say,
Sure.
I hope it happens
Major General Sinha is
quickly.
also very patiently awaiting his turn. Major General Sinha, thank you for being so patient. I want to bring you in on how, when it comes to the Kashmir conflict and terrorism emanating from Pakistani soil, India will hit, and it will hit hard, and this is only going to be India's job. Has India made that amply clear?
See, Akansha, what we have displayed, especially after, I will not take what we have done it on 2016, what we did in 19, but I just take it from 22nd of April onwards, if I take. See, we waited 2 days, then we had the CCS meeting and openly came out and we have given. It is very important for my foreign friend to understand that, what we have told, and unprecedented, nowhere in the world has happened. These, suspending the Indus Water Treaty. And mind you, all these places which we are talking about is along that, river system, all along that river system. All those places are being hit. See, it is not, no one has able to do it. No one. Even no one has threatened. And we have done it. It started on 24th onwards. And today we are here on 10th, I think, May. No one, no power. Even they have pointed a finger and we are doing it. We have stopped Chinab. We are doing Jhelum. I'm just saying, because you asked certain question and we have got a foreign guest sitting with us.
Yes.
Because, see, and we didn't get any preaching. When you are talking about the United States of America, I'm not batting for them. But we didn't. J.D. Van was here when it happened.
Yes.
And day for yesterday, J.D. Van has very clearly, has brought it out that it is, we have nothing to do with this thing.
And that's
Yesterday
what makes it so ironical. That's what makes it so ironical, that the day it happened, he was very much in the country and he was being warmly hosted and welcomed and toured around. And that's why I was particularly taken aback by that statement.
Yeah, Akansha, second thing is that, we are displaying to, especially when we call third world used to be, now we say, global south, the strategic autonomy which we have taken, and it is just not because we are just making or preaching someone, we are practicing it with the strategic partnershiping with everyone, even the adversaries who are, with the crossroad. We have got strategic partnership. Russia, proven partnership. United States of America, in spite of that Chabahar, because they had some concern in Chabahar, they wanted that India should leave it. India has done, finally we have got about 99 years commitment over there. And I think it is coming into that way with Iran.
Sure.
We are able to do it. So basically what we are, exhibiting, and thank God, I say that 22nd April is a bad day for Indian history, but the resolve thereafter, and 9 May onwards, if you see what we are doing it without speaking. Have you seen anyone of our, NSA or Prime Minister or Foreign Minister making and thumping the chest that we have done it this, we have done that?
Yes.
We are calmly sitting in the glare of the complete world, carrying out a review and integrating. See, the CDS system, if you see, which started in 2016 again, when the Rafale came, with all theater command, in operational conditions, in warlike conditions, we are doing it. All meetings, there is a
Right.
CDS. It was announced in 2016.
Ms.
We
General
are able
Sinha,
to
I'm
do
going
it.
to request you to continue staying with me right now. In fact, I must, for all our viewers who are tuning in, it's roughly 4:30 a.m. Indians are going to be waking up to this very brave news, and a salute to the Indian Armed Forces as we've successfully destroyed and targeted 3 air bases in Pakistan, and as Indian government sources are telling CNN News 18 that this is a custom-made response by Indian Armed Forces. I'm going to continue with that discussion, but before I take this forward with Stephen as well, Stephen, take a moment, have a look at these visuals that have come in from Nur Khan Airbase in Pakistan, which was targeted by India, and that massive explosion that took place, which also indicates that it was an ammunition dump over there that was targeted by our air-to-surface missile. Let's play that out.
भाईजान नूर खान बेस में आके गिरा है। ये अटैक हुआ है नूर खान बेस पे, बिल्कुल घर के सामने। अभी एक जहाज गुजरा है और ये नूर खान बेस के ऊपर अटैक हुआ है। भाईजान नूर खान बेस में आके गिरा है। ये अटैक हुआ है नूर खान बेस पे।
Okay, 2 points. Keep in mind, Stephen, it's a Pakistani video made by a Pakistani. So clearly the DG ISPR cannot deny that that explosion didn't take place on Pakistani soil, because we have been observing consistently that there's a disinformation campaign being run by the country. But having said that, I want you to also reflect upon what makes this entire conflict and the fight so unique, especially if we were to compare it with Gaza or Ukraine. India doesn't need the kind of support that Ukraine has been begging for from its NATO allies or even the United States. Gaza, as many have said, has only relied for support from its Islamic allies, who also have perhaps not been able to do much.
Well, frankly, what makes it unique is that India and Pakistan are nuclear powers. And there's, I think, a great concern in many quarters about this escalating in ways that could prove catastrophic if nuclear weapons are used. I'm not predicting that's going to happen. I'm certainly hoping fervently against it and even betting against it. But when you have this kind of intensifying conflict going on, it raises concerns in many, many quarters, in many, many capitals, regardless of who's right or wrong here. I'm not criticizing India's stance towards Pakistan here, but I am emphasizing that what makes this unique is that you have two nuclear-armed nations going at it in a way that seems to be escalating.
That's a very fair concern. But I want to ask you this, that today India has been brought to a point where dialogue and diplomacy is done. India's foreign ministry has made it amply clear that escalation can't be pinned on India, because escalation happened on 22nd of April when that massacre in the meadows of Pahalgam took place. We are done with dialogue and diplomacy. We've seen how this is one of the oldest conflicts after the Second World War, and Kashmir happens to be the territory which has been illegally occupied by a rival nation, that's Pakistan. The UN also couldn't come up with a solution. How does one then address the problem of terrorism, Stephen?
Well, you address the problem by trying to provide all sorts of disincentives, which is obviously India's aim here. I will beg to differ in the notion that dialogue and diplomacy are permanently done. If they are done, then we're in really a hopeless situation. Sooner or later, India and Pakistan are going to have to get back to talking with each other. Even if the talk is harsh and even if the disagreements are run really deep, the alternative to dialogue and diplomacy is ongoing, escalating war. And I don't know whether you can simply count, even if Pakistan backs down, which I guess is the hope in your quarters and many parts of the world, they'll need some kind of a fig leaf that could be offered by dialogue and diplomacy. So I really, as I said, want to push back against the notion that those avenues are done, because the alternative to their being done is very dangerous.
And that's a food for thought as well. Group Captain Vinod, have we reached a point of no return? And as many would say that now if India has entered this conflict and has resolved to destroy those terror camps, then is it time to go full throttle?
Absolutely not. In fact, at every point in time, and just want to disagree with Stephen. Stephen, at every point in time, we gave an exit. We are calling it the off ramp. At every single operation, including this one, we have the capability to do Nur Khan into 10 on all the bases, air bases as well as the military bases in one wave. That kind of capability we have possessed today. We did not do it. We don't. A broken up or a balkanized Pakistan or with refugee crisis at our back door is not something any country would want. We absolutely do not want that, and that is why our speeches have been measured. Quick point about how mathematically incorrect these generals are. How can I fire a ballistic missile? Is called a ballistic because it takes a ballistic path. That is why it is called a ballistic missile. How can I fire a ballistic missile which will take a ballistic path and come and drop on my own head? It is mathematically impossible, isn't it? And how can I do that? They should use some kind of brain, isn't it? For a 1,000-kilometer range missile, the minimum range at which you can hit a target is something like 300 kilometers. Well, anyway, that is
Okay, but Stephen, if I
that is the
were to
people
bring you in on that diplomacy bit, Stephen, I know it's not going to be about settling scores and it can't be brought down to doing the maths, but what is your assessment when India actually embarked on this entire Operation Sindoor? Because India went for the kill as far as 9 terror camps are concerned. Those 9 targets were not military installations. They were not civilian targets. They were 9 terror camps. Pakistan could have just left it at that.
So I'm sorry, what's the question?
So the question here is, what is Pakistan doing by retaliating now? If it is not concerned with terror camps that are very much bred on their soil, but if it's not concerned with those terror camps, then there's perhaps no need to retaliate.
Oh, well, look, I can't, I'm not sitting in Islamabad or reading any of its political, or more importantly here, military leaders' minds, because the military in Pakistan are the people who are calling the shots with respect to many things in the country, certainly including this conflict. But I think what I'll speculate about is what's going through those military and political leaders' minds is a degree of saving face, which actually probably influences a lot of conflicts, that they felt they'd lose so much face in the face of India's attack, which again, I realize is in response to a horrible terrorist attack, killing many innocent people in Kashmir. The Pakistani leadership I believe feels that it needed to respond for the sake of maintaining its own credibility in the country, its own leadership, maybe it's even its own hold on power, because if it didn't respond in some way, it might be weakened in those regards. Having said that, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Pakistan for what it's done at all. And I'm not saying that the way it responded was necessarily legitimate or the best way. But you asked me, what might they be thinking? I think they're thinking about their own survival, their own credibility, their own strength within their own country. And that's what these counterattacks might be about.
Major Manik, I'm going to give you a quick 1 minute. I know, because we have some breaking inputs coming in, but do you think this is just a face-saving attempt by Pakistan, or is this also retaliation to defend the terror camps that they have been harboring so far?
This is retaliation, definitely. Where do they land actually? They always want to maintain that thing that we don't breed terror, we don't support terrorists. But the funeral, do you remember the funeral that happened for these terror leaders? The entire military brass was present there. Their coffins were placed in national flag. They were given hero send-off, which was an acknowledgement of that these people, the terrorist leaders and their families, are not thought of as terrorism or families. They are thought of as national leader, part of their administration, which are due state funerals. So they have to prove it to these tanzeems, these terrorist organizations, their people, that we are aligned with them, even whatever they can keep saying in front of the at global platforms, irrespective.
All right.
So this was a retaliation, and yes, they are getting back at that with
All right, I have some breaking inputs coming in. What we are learning is that Pakistan's airspace has been closed to all types of air traffic. Airspace will remain shut until 12 noon today. This is the big breaking input that we are bringing to you. Clearly goes on to indicate, Ayushman, that this is a very tense situation over there across the LOC. Ayushman, can you hear me?
Yeah, Akanksha, I can hear you. So basically, the development that's coming in from Pakistan is that in the wake of India's counter-strike, where we have crippled 3 crucial air bases, now Pakistan has closed its airspace to all kinds of air traffic. Airspace will remain closed until 12 noon today is the information that's coming in from the Pakistan Airports Authority, which has now closed the airspace. But remember, Akanksha, also when Pakistan launched its first counter-strike, commercial airliners were still running above the skies in Pakistan. They were clearly using those air carriers as civilian shields, and that entire point was exposed by the Indian government. Vikram Misri also pointed it out, and the entire Indian establishment highlighted the fact how Pakistan was using civilian carriers as shields to launch that counter-strike against India, to punish India for Operation Sindoor 1.0. And clearly in this case, feeling the heat, feeling the public pressure, now Pakistan has resorted to close its airspace for all kinds of air traffic as it tries to secure and tries to take stock of the damage caused by India's counter-strike.
All right, Group Captain Vinod, what do you make of this decision that's been taken? Is that a direct indication of the kind of damage that's been inflicted upon the 3 air bases?
Or could be, Akanksha, pressure from international civil aviation.
All right.
Which is quite a bit high. I mean, it does happen in IQ. Maybe IQ has weighed down on Pakistan to shut the airspace down, because in the hot war condition, if anything like, friendly fire happens either by Pakistan or us,